Can a fractured nation truly rise anew, or will the weight of history drag it back into the shadows? For decades, Bangladesh was trapped in a cycle of corruption, family politics, and living under a giant's shadow. But now, the nation has a chance to rewrite its story. One that doesn't end with handshakes in Delhi or dependence on foreign powers. This is Bangladesh 2.0, a nation determined to stand on its own feet, forging a future of self-reliance and true independence. Let's confront the undeniable truth. India. It's no secret that India has had a major influence on Bangladesh's affairs, whether it's energy deals, water sharing agreements, or strategic partnerships. They've always been a key player in the equation. But here's the catch. Many feel that this partnership has been largely one-sided. For years, Bangladesh has relied heavily on India, often at the expense of its own interests. Following Sheikh Hasina's departure and mounting protests, an interim government was formed, led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus as chief advisor. The transition was supported by the military, with General Waqar-Uzzaman ensuring stability. Key protest leaders like Nahid Islam and Asif Mahmood were included in the administration to represent the people's demands.
জুলাই গণঅভ্যুত্থান বিপ্লবে ছাত্ররা, তরুণরা, যুবকরা, শ্রমিকরা সকলেই নেমে এসেছিল। একদিকে ছিল দেশমাতৃকা, অপরদিকে ছিল মৃত্যু। মাতৃভূমি অথবা মৃত্যুকে কোনো একটাকে বেছে নিয়ে কিন্তু আমাদের লড়তে হয়েছিল। ফলে আমরা মনে করি আমাদের এই লড়াইটা চলমান এবং আমরা অবশ্যই আমাদের মাতৃভূমিকে রক্ষা করব, মাতৃভূমিকে নতুন করে বিশ্বের বুকে মাথা উঁচু করে দাঁড়া করাবো। সেই প্রতিজ্ঞায় আমাদের আজকের যুব দিবসের অঙ্গীকার হোক। সকলকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Beyond political leaders, the true force behind this revolution is the people. From students to workers, every citizen has played a role in shaping this new era.
এটা হলো এমন ভাবে ভাষা বোঝানো যাবে না। আমি অনেক হ্যাপি, নতুন একটা ইয়েতে আসছি আমরা। এই জন্য আমার কাছে অনেক ভালো লাগছে। বোঝানো যাবে না ভাষায় এমন না। এখন আমার একটাই চাওয়া, যত মানুষ মারা গেছে, যত ছাত্র মারা গেছে, প্রত্যেক সব তদন্ত করে সবার খোঁজখবর নিয়ে, তাদের ফ্যামিলি কি অবস্থা, তাদের খোঁজখবর নিয়ে শুধু তদন্ত করে এটা শুধু বিচার করা, বিচার চাই আমরা।
আমাদের খুব ভালো লাগছে যে আমাদের দেশটাকে স্বাধীন করা হয়েছে। আমরা একটা ডিক্টেটরশিপ থেকে উঠে আসতে পারছি। আর এটা বাংলার একটা জাগরণ, যেটা আমরা ৭১-এ দেখেছিলাম আর আমরা ২৪-এ দেখেছি। এটা আমাদের কাছে একটা গর্বিত সময়।
Now the youth is aware of whom the country is dealing with and is looking towards forming new strategic alliances that will empower the nation regardless of bias or personal gain. And even still, Sheikh Hasina believed that she had did no wrong. In a leaked phone call of the former Prime Minister, we hear her speaking about how she felt entitled to her position and she believes that she had done no wrong.
আওয়ামী লীগ ২০০৯ সাল থেকে এই ২৪ সাল পর্যন্ত বাংলাদেশকে উন্নয়নের রোল মডেল হিসেবে বিশ্বব্যাপী প্রতিষ্ঠিত করেছিল। বাংলাদেশ ছিল বিশ্বের কাছে উন্নয়নের বিস্ময়। আর দুর্ভাগ্যের বিষয়, সেই বাংলাদেশ এখন সন্ত্রাসের দেশ, চাঁদাবাজির দেশ, হত্যাকাণ্ডের দেশ, অবৈধ ক্ষমতা দখলকারীর হাতে বাংলাদেশ আজকে সেই সুনাম সম্পূর্ণভাবে নস্যাৎ হয়ে গেছে। বাংলাদেশ এখন ধ্বংসের পথে। এই ধ্বংসের হাত থেকে দেশ ও জাতিকে সকলে মিলে রক্ষা করতে হবে, সেটাই আমার সকলের কাছে আবেদন।
And let's not forget, this isn't just about building the future, it's about reckoning with the past. The interim government has launched a massive corruption investigation into Sheikh Hasina's regime. They have uncovered shocking details of financial misconduct, including an estimated $17 billion siphoned from the banking sector. Cases like the 25-year energy deal with India's Adani Group, which cost Bangladesh far more than market rates, are under review. Investigations are also probing allegations of money laundering linked to Hasina's family, including her son Sajib Wajid Joy and niece Tulip Siddiq, a former UK minister. These revelations raise pressing questions. How deep does this corruption run? And will justice finally be served?
As I made clear, what we are calling for today is an end to the violence and for accountability. Now, as to what accountability looks like, that's something that should take place under Bangladeshi law. Obviously, anyone responsible for acts of violence, acts that break the law, should be held accountable for them. With respect to the violence over the past few weeks and the deaths that have occurred, it is vital that we have full and transparent investigations to ensure accountability for these deaths. Second, as it relates to the interim government, as I made clear in my opening remarks, we think that it's important that we focus on the Bangladeshi people's democratic aspirations and see a path to democratic governance.
Of course, holding powerful figures accountable is no easy task. Hasina still has influential allies both domestically and internationally. Reports suggest her ties with India's intelligence networks and her family's positions in the UK and US governments could shield her from full accountability. But the interim government is pressing forward, determined to root out corruption and ensure justice prevails. Despite all the corruption, the interim government was doing its best to crack down on the Awami regime and expose its secrets. The interim government successfully launched a corruption probe into the family of Tulip Siddiq, the anti-corruption minister of the UK, and the niece of no other than Sheikh Hasina, leading her to resign from her post in the UK government. The interim government is also focusing on retrieving the money laundered away by the past regime. The interim government is also taking a neutral approach to foreign policy, not judging whom they deal with and offering friendship to all. This has been reflected by the recent easing of its visa process for Pakistani citizens, removing the need for security clearance and simplifying the application process. The government has also moved towards boosting economic ties with Middle Eastern countries, aiming to strengthen trade and economic relations. The entertainment industry is also flourishing with foreign artists such as Atif Aslam, Kavish, Jad Band and Rohat Fateh Ali Khan performing cult classics such as Adat, Ore Piya, Afreen, which fans sung their hearts out to. Additionally, an Australian visa center is set to open in Dhaka, and Bangladeshi citizens will no longer need to travel to India to get an Australian visa. Mexico has also recently reaffirmed its commitment to stronger ties with Bangladesh. Even under all the pressure, the Awami League is still finding a way to terrorize the people. They have left death threats outside the homes of students who had joined the protests, promising to exercise revenge upon them. There have been numerous reports of violence linked to the Awami League across the country on all levels, ranging from bribery to extortion. However, the government has now launched Operation Devil Hunt, which aims to find the criminals and put them to justice. The fight doesn't end there. While the old regime has been dismantled, threats still lurk in the shadows. Reports suggest that foreign intelligence operatives remain embedded in Bangladesh's bureaucracy and military, posing risks to the transition process. Meanwhile, Hasina's economic policies have left deep scars, with money laundering networks still active through fintech channels.
Immediately after that, I've tried to appoint a committee to prepare a white paper. So there was stock taking, what we got, what we left, to understand what we inherited from the previous government. But amazing results came later on when the final report came out. The amount of money laundered away from the country. From the banking system, the total amount they've estimated, calculated, it's about $17 billion from the banking system, just laundered away. Very simple thing, very easy way. I think this should be recorded someplace, studied how governments can do that kind of plundering, highway robbery, sitting in the government, running the machine, and still claiming to be a civilized society. The simple way they did it, under the gunpoint, you let the board of the bank resign, and government or a person like the head of the government, Hasina, she puts her own people in the board and let her friends and relatives take away as much money as they want.
The road ahead won't be easy. The interim government is already grappling with major challenges, from stabilizing the economy and managing inflation to rebuilding public trust in law enforcement. Economic stabilization is crucial, as the country's economy is limping after billions being looted. Key reforms have been initiated, including commissions to overhaul the electoral system and judiciary. But progress is slow, and public patience is running thin. Will the interim government be able to change the system? Or will the military intervene, pulling Bangladesh back into darkness? There are still questions that the public demands answers to.
সেই সময়ে আমরা পরিবর্তনের সাথে সাথে বললাম যতদিন লাগে আমাদের সংস্কার করে শেষ হবে তারপরে নির্বাচন দিবেন সব পলিটিক্যাল পার্টিগুলোই সেটা বলেছে আপনারা সাক্ষী কিন্তু এখানে পলিটিশিয়ান আছেন তিনজনই আমি একাই সামরিক বাহিনী থেকে আসছি জানি না ওনারা আমার কথা পছন্দ করবেন কতটুকু এই তিনজন এরা পলিটিশিয়ানরা অস্থির হয়ে গেছে এখন নির্বাচনের জন্য আই ডোন্ট নো হোয়াট ইজ দ্য রিজন
এখন ছাত্র রাজনীতি নিষিদ্ধের বিষয়টা কিন্তু সাংঘর্ষিক একদিকে বলছি ছাত্র রাজনীতি ভালো জিনিস আবার এই বছরের যে বিপ্লব 24-এর যে বিপ্লব ওখানে প্রমাণ হয় যে তারুণ্যের একটা সুফল আছে তারা বিশাল অর্জন করে দেখিয়েছে এরই মাঝে আবার প্রশ্ন এসে গেছে যে ছাত্র রাজনীতি থাকা উচিত কিনা
থাকলেও কি কেমন
ধরনটা কেমন হবে লেজোড়ের মধ্যে থাকবে কিনা অর্থাৎ কারো অধীনে থাকবে কিনা এই প্রশ্নই অবান্তর ছাত্রদল বিএনপির অধীনে আছে ছাত্রলীগ যেমন ছিল আওয়ামী লীগের অধীনে এখন বৈষম্য বিরোধী ছাত্ররাও অধীনস্থ হওয়ার পথে আছে তারা ধরো একটা মূল সংগঠন ঘোষণা হবে তারা ওইটার অধীনে থাকবে অর্থাৎ এই কথাগুলো কিন্তু অত্যন্ত সাংঘর্ষিক আর এখানে আমি বলতে বাধ্য হচ্ছি
সাংঘর্ষিক এই অর্থে কি বলছেন যে আসলে আমরা কি চাই
নিজেরা বুঝি না
And then there's the military. Internal divisions within the armed forces pose a potential threat, and if not managed carefully, they could destabilize the fragile transition. Despite these hurdles, the interim government is moving forward step by step. They have pledged sweeping reforms in the legal system, a relentless crackdown on corruption, and greater transparency in public spending. The vision for Bangladesh 2.0 is bold and transformative, focused on youth empowerment and economic diversification. With technology, renewable energy, and sustainable agriculture leading the way, the nation is charting a new course toward progress and self-reliance. But Bangladesh 2.0 isn't just a government initiative, it's a people's movement. In the meanwhile, the chief advisor, Dr. Yunus, continues to strengthen Bangladesh's global position, having recently completed his visits to UAE and the World Government Summit at Dubai. Bangladesh is also set to organize the Bangladesh Investment Summit 2025 on the 9th and 10th of April, for which 550 investors from over 50 countries have already registered. The push for decentralized power, the empowerment of local leaders, and the active engagement of youth in governance are crucial steps toward building a fairer, more inclusive society. This new chapter is about reshaping Bangladesh from the ground up, ensuring that development is sustainable, equitable, and driven by the people, for the people. The question of when the next elections will be held and who will be participating in them remains as a lingering question. The news of Nahid Islam retiring from the interim government to form his own political party called the National Citizens Party and participate in the next elections comes as another set of news that may dictate the future of the country. The world is watching Bangladesh. International organizations and governments have expressed support for the democratic transition, urging peaceful negotiations and fair governance.
The United States stands with the people of Bangladesh. We urge all parties to refrain from further violence. Too many lives have been lost over the course of the past several weeks, and we urge calm and restraint in the days ahead.
The revolution marks the beginning of a new Bangladesh. But the ultimate question remains, how long will this transition take? Will the interim government truly serve the people? Or is this just another shade of grey before the next wave of darkness? The revolution has begun, but the battle for Bangladesh's future continues.